And is there a new director that you're going to be?
We're searching for a new director.
Okay.
Our previous executive director of the Alumni Association, Jim Armstrong, did a wonderful job for us. But he went off to become the executive director of the Ellensburg Chamber of Commerce. So it was an open position. Jim's departure from the Alumni Association just coincidentally coincided with some new volunteer leadership of the alumni group, and they're very interested in this affinity activity. So we're in the process of hiring an executive director for the Alumni Association now. In fact, I think the campus interviews will be during this month.
Okay, and any changes for the foundation too, or is that?
I think that, well, there's been some. We have always had we've had for a number of years now a split position. An executive director of the foundation was also the chief fundraiser for the university, and that worked when we were a small foundation. But we're getting larger now, and so we're going to have we've split the job into two, so they'll have a full-time director of development, director of fundraising. That's Scott Wade. He's on campus now, and we're now in the process of hiring a full-time executive director for the foundation, whose job it will be to steward the gifts that are given to the university, to make sure that we're meeting all the legal requirements of it, to make sure that our investment policies are appropriate and so forth. The job is just, and again, Jen Gray did them both when she was here, did a great job. They're just really too big a job and too diverse a set of skills for one person to do. So we've split those into two.
Okay. Anything else people should know about alumni?
I think there is. One thing that I think is important to note, and I'm talking here now probably to the members of our community that may not be associated with the university. Most successful alumni gatherings, I'm talking about now, say, homecoming events, the people typically return to the town as much as to the university. And I think I've already started talking with the Chamber of Commerce and with the City Council about using our alumni association as a vehicle to bring people into town and to connect our alumni with the town. I mean, when I talk to alumni, one of the first things they ask me is the TAB still up and going? You know, is the Palace still a place to go for breakfast? And the answer, of course, is yes, and sure it is. But they think about that sometimes before they think about, you know, is Bardo Hall still there? And so that town connection is also very, very important to our alumni base. And we just need to work with the town to ensure when people come back, they're coming back for both the town and the university.
We have not much time left, but I did want to talk about some changes, or I don't know how big they are, but actually they're pretty big, I think. Dual admission with community colleges.
This is huge.
Yeah,
this is huge.
Which involves Yakima Community College, but sounds like lots of other community colleges.
Well, in theory, it'll involve all 34 community colleges. Right now, we have 22 that have signed up with us. And what it essentially means is that a student who either applies to the university and isn't admitted to Central Washington directly, or for whatever reason about their life wants to go to a community college first and maybe doesn't apply, doesn't apply initially, but when they get to that community college, we'll ask them, would you like to also apply to Central Washington? Do you want a 4-year degree? If they say yes to either, or they either apply to us and we send them to the community college, or they apply to the community college and they're encouraged to come to us, they'll be dual admitted. That is, they'll be a Central Washington student and they'll be a student of that community college. And what we'll say to that student is that we will then accept you conditional upon two things. You get your AA degree, your Associate of Arts degree at that university, and you get a 2.5 GPA. And when you accomplish those two things, off you come to Central Washington University. What it does is it plants the notion in a student's head who might not know that the 4-year degree is possible for them because of financial reasons or place-bounded reasons or whatever. It lets them know that there is a pathway to a degree. Equally important, it lets us know that there's a student out there that plans to come to Central Washington University, so we can make sure they're correctly advised to minimize their time to degree. So I think this is just a fantastic opportunity to increase the degree attainment of the citizens of the state. And it's just a win-win.
And you have a good number of students coming in.
About half of our students now transfer to us. Now, that they're not all from community college, but the majority of them who transfer are from community college. And 65% of our graduates, even more of our graduates, transfer to Central Washington University from someplace else. So you think of it as a pipeline out of high school to a bachelor's degree. For a lot of students, community college is in that pathway. We want to make sure that there's no gap between their community college career and their four-year career.
Do you think this could increase enrollment?
I absolutely think it will increase. I think it'll increase enrollment. I think it'll increase degree attainment. And I think it will lower the total cost of attendance because it is less expensive to go to a community college. Tuition is lower. Not all, but most students live at home. And the job possibilities in other places are, I mean, because they have contacts there, and maybe they have a high school job that they just stay in. Or they're a non-traditional student, and they already have a job, and they're coming to community college to come here. So, yeah, I think it'll increase enrollment. I think it'll increase everything but cost. It'll actually lower the cost.
Okay, we're trying to wrap up. Anything else you'd like to?
Just that we're having successes left and right across this university. A lot of individual successes. You know, our music students were invited to Washington, D.C., our trumpet players. We had a number of students in New York took second place in a national performance, just doing fantastic. Our rugby team was again, you know, in regional finals, just lost out and didn't get to go to the nationals again this year. But success, success, success.
Great. Well, thanks very much for your time, and thank you all for joining us. I'm Joanna Markell, the editor of the Daily Record, here with CWU President Jim Gaudino. This has been another episode of On the Record. Again, if you have questions you'd like to forward our way, feel free to type them into the Daily Record's Facebook page or send me an email. Thanks very much.